Hello and welcome to Secrets Mystery Manor. I'm your host, Psychic Zelda Kelly. Hi there. Hello. Hello. Hi. I'm Zelda Kelly, and hello. I've been waiting for you. Hi there, everyone. I have the story of stories tonight, and I didn't forget this one. It's just that it's a little on the disturbing side. So that's why I have this viewer discretion is advised. Because if you can't handle scary, creepy stories that are a little disturbing, then you may want to say goodbye for this one, but I hope you stay. I think you'll make it through. So anyone, welcome to Secrets Mystery Manor. I'm Zelda Kelly, and I'm so happy that you're here. I cannot wait to share this with you. I mean, seriously, this is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm going to say, I have been thinking about this all week since I have announced it. So let's get started. And by the way, we are going to read cards in just a little bit, but I want to pick out a card for the entire audience that are watching. Okay, so I've got my cards. I'm going to cut the deck on your behalf, and let's pull out a card to get us started. And then we're going to tell the story. Ready? Here we go. A perfect card for you. This is the Temperance card. And you see, this is also the zodiac sign for the Sagittarius. Now, you see those fiery wings up there that this young, well, beautiful angel has. But you see that breastplate? That breastplate is a balance between the material and the spiritual. So that's what's going on with you, I think. Balance is key. You've got a goal in mind. You can see that back here by that crown. You've got a goal. Everything is going to start going all right for you. And I just can't wait. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's get started. This is a story. It's a true story now. And I was there. This is a story of a haunted, hi there, everyone. This is a story of a haunted pink mansion in the state of Tennessee. I used to live in this area, and I'm not going to give you the address for security purposes. I'm sure that the owners would not be too appreciative of that. And by the way, my kitties are very active tonight and very happy. So if you hear noises, they're joining in. All right, so I'm going to take off this. I'm going to show you a few pictures. All right, here, and I'm going to leave the stream, but I'm going to be here talking. You can hear me. Can see all you lovely folks. Okay, so here's the story. A realtor friend of mine, why is it all stories start out with a friend of mine? But it's true. A realtor friend of mine knew that I was in the market for a historic home. And this historic home, and there's several around in this particular area in Tennessee, and this historic home was available for sale. It was vacant. And she said, you know what, let's go over there about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, this was in 2012. Let's go over about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said, that's perfect. I have to pick up my son from school at 3. So let's just go in, go out, and we'll be there. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to show you this house again. I will be here. So there you go. I'm back again. So the 2 front doors there, you walk up on the porch, and I have some more pictures for you. So hang in there. And I did not know this backstory of this house. There was no one there at the time that we went to see this home, and it was vacant. The backstory I really wasn't aware of. My friend was, and I don't know why she didn't tell me. Now, my friend was also a client of mine. I read cards for her often, and a lot of people in her office. So she knew I was always in the market for an historic home, a haunted home. Had a couple of them there. Okay, so we went in the home. Of course, I ground myself on the door, and hello, good morning to the Philippines. So I ground myself on the door, and I knew when I walked in, there was going to be a problem. There was going to be trouble. And I told her, I said, you know, I'm feeling a little sick. Let's hurry. I just don't even think I want to be here. And she said, well, what's wrong? And I said, it just doesn't feel right. I don't get it. I just don't want to be here. So let me show you. I'm going to disappear again. Let me show you some more of the pictures I have for you. Okay, so when you walk in, here we go. And it's really pretty cool up there. It's like a library, and you can walk all around. There's these beautiful wooden built-in shelves. And up there, behind one of the shelves, is a hidden room. The hidden room was used as the primary bedroom. And of course, plumbing had been added in over the years, had gone by and so forth. And this house had changed hands all the time. I mean, it was all the time. And this is in an area where there was an overnight rental company. And so, you know, you put it on the overnight rental. Sadly enough, a lot of people that had gone there to stay wouldn't make it through the night. So, you know, something's cooking, right? Something's cooking. So as you walk in, and you can see there, and I've got one more picture. We were walking around, and you go to the back of the home. At the back of the home was part of the original home. Now this was kind of an add-on that they had kept adding on as time went by. But in the back of the home, it was dingy and kind of dark, and the rooms were very close, and the ceilings were very low, and it was just kind of weird. I'm just going to tell you, it was just kind of weird. I did not like it at all. And I told her, I said, I'm here to look at the house, but I'm getting all these vibes. And she said, well, you can't miss the primary bedroom. Let me take a drink. Sorry, there's allergies. Give me just a second. So she said, you cannot miss that primary bedroom upstairs. So we went upstairs. We walked around in this big wooden shelving area just enveloped the whole second floor. It was huge and massive. And that home doesn't look like, that home just doesn't look that big from the outside. I'm going to leave you again. Upstairs, and I told my friend, said, let's get it. Let's do it. She goes, you got to see this really cool thing. And I said, what is it? And she said, it's a planetarium on the third floor. And I said, a planetarium? And she said, yes, on the back of the floor, there was I'm sorry, on the back of the house, there's like a, how do you want to say, a balcony that's built on the back of the roof. But there's a room up there that they wanted to see about they had a telescope up there, and they tried to make it really cool for visitors that you could go up there and see the stars and everything else. And so I said, okay. So we first went into the into the primary bedroom. The primary bedroom was eerie as could be. I'm sorry, just eerie. Why? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who went in there and designed this after the fact, but whoever did and put that room on there, it was like, I don't know. You would know that believe me, if you went in there. So I wanted to hurry out of there. I didn't want to take a lot of time. So here's the interesting thing. Now, I don't know if you're losing me while I'm talking to you, so I'm not going to say anything. Now, I'm going to show you a picture. There's a gray door. I want you to take a look at that gray door. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want the mic to cut out. I don't think it is. But here we go. I'm going to leave you just for another minute. There we go. Okay, so that gray door, that is the door that leads up to the planetarium. So she opens the door. Now, I have to say, in all fairness, this door was not sticking. It opened easily. You could tell people had been in there. They freshly painted. They freshly took care of things. And we opened the door and we left the door open. Now, the windows were not open. Nothing was open. She went up first. Now, the stairway was very narrow. And I mean, almost as narrow as that door. It was, almost shoulder to shoulder narrow and steep, like you were climbing up the steps. It wasn't code. I can tell you that. It wasn't code, and it was not safe. So we go up the stairs, And we're in this, and we walk in the whole planetarium room is the whole entire third floor, like attic. And that's what it was. It was an attic. Pardon me. It had a pitch roof. So you couldn't walk really around, but we were on the opposite end, looking around. They had things up there. We were looking around, and we were just kind of looking at the telescopes and everything. All of a sudden, we heard this running. Now, it was loud running, and you could see that there were wooden floors. And I looked at her and I said, and I'm whispering, is someone else here? And you can see my cat in the background, so don't get. Okay, so I'm like, is somebody here? We're whispering because, it's kind of a dangerous thing. And this house was not way out in the country, but it was out far enough that there wasn't any homes nearby. And so she's looking, and so I'm looking, and all of a sudden we hear these roaring footsteps, like running up this stairway, and we hear that door slam. Boom. And I mean, it slammed. The old joke where you have to hold your teeth in. That is exactly how it felt. That door slammed so hard, and it was so loud, and the footsteps were running up that and I have chills right now thinking of it. I looked at her and I ran toward the steps because I thought, you know what? If there's somebody coming in here to do us harm, we'll push them down the steps. Isn't that bad? But that was my mindset, and her too. She told me the same thing. I ran over to the steps. You can guess. There wasn't anyone there, and the door was closed. I looked at her and I said, how did that door close? And she said, I don't know. So she went down. There was not room for both of us to stand in front of the door. She went down first and tried the door. And that door was like it was nailed shut. So she comes back up. She goes, you can try it. I went down and I pushed and I pulled and I kicked. And she's like, if we have to break this door down, it's okay. And I said, well, how are we going to break this door down? There was not even room to stand in front of the door because the steps were going almost straight up. So I said, okay, we have our phones. We went up, and oh my goodness, no phone reception. Zero phone reception. Zero. Hi, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. So there was zero phone reception. Now, she was scared. And this sort of thing, I wasn't prepared. And that made me learn a lesson that no matter where I go and no matter why, to prepare myself, because I'm so sensitive to this. And I looked at her and I said, I know you don't want to hear this. Something is happening. Something is about to happen. Something is going on. We were up there in that planetarium. Now, this is like late spring, about this time of year, maybe a little, I think it was in May because my son wasn't out of school yet. And it was hot. And that planetarium, it was hot. And it started getting warm up there. And she said, well, we could always raise that one window. And I said, I don't know. I'm going to show you this door again so you can have a better idea. Coming back to you. So we were up there about 30 minutes. And she said, what are we going to do? And I said, we're going to have to call somebody. So we tried to call 911. Couldn't get through. We couldn't get any windows open. We didn't know what to do. Finally, she had one little minuscule bar on her phone as she was standing up, and she knew someone that had worked at the fire department. She called him and said, we are at such and such house. I'm showing that house today, and we are stuck and we are scared. This door. And just as she started talking, boom, we're hearing all these noises downstairs. We heard someone laugh on the first floor. I'm not kidding. Talk about chill. And I have chills right now. That sort of thing going on, you know, and what scares me more, I'm more scared of the humans, right? You don't know if somebody's hiding in the house versus you know where you stand with the paranormal, right? So that bothered me more than anything because I'm thinking, oh Lord, what if somebody really knew we were coming here and this is a crazy game that they're playing. I don't know about this. So all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but you know, a few minutes later, we hear this siren way in the distance. And it was coming and finally pulled in. We could see through the window. And she is rapping on the window and doing this. We're up here, we're up here. He comes up there. You can hear him coming. And I want you to know he went right to that door, turned the knob, and it opened just like that. And we both felt about this high. And she's like, oh my gosh, I swear that this door was so, we could not open this door. He stood there for a minute and he said, look, I don't want you ladies to feel bad. You are the third people that we've had to deal with this. And it was like, I couldn't believe this. Unrelated to what we were doing, 2 other realtors with guests besides she and I got stuck. And it was that same thing. And he described exactly what we had gone through. The door slam, the hearing of the steps, the laughter, all this other. So, and wow, I have chills. So as we were going down, getting into the second, he left. He said, look, ladies, I got to get out of here. Okay. So he said, you know, I'm out of here. I love you, but I'm out of here. And we were just so happy that he was there. And she said, I'll call you later. Thank you so much. So I'm just kind of taking a breath now because it was so warm up there. Oh, I'm not done yet, my darlings. It gets really good. We go up where we're moseying around the second floor looking. And I said, you know, I just have a feeling that there's more to this second floor. If they're hiding a primary bedroom, what else are they hiding? And she said, I agree. All of a sudden, we hear this little tink, tink, 2 notes on the piano. I'm going to show you that room again. 2 notes on that piano. Give me just a second here. And I'm going to find that for you. Here we go. This time I was really disturbed because I thought, is somebody hiding in the house? Because you see how that front door is open? You can see it there to the side of me. We left the front door open while we were looking in the home. We shouldn't have done that. It's not safe, but you know, we weren't thinking. And she knows everybody in the area, and who she didn't know, I did. So it wasn't something like, you know. So anyway, we hear this plink plink. She goes over to the top of the steps and she looks down and she said, oh, hi. How did you get here? Are you a neighbor? And you hear this tink, just one little faint piano, tink. And I said, her name, who are you talking to? Who's in here? She turns around and looks at me and she said, oh, there's a little girl on the piano. And looks down and was gone. A little girl was sitting at that piano and we heard that piano. And my friend, who is not into the paranormal at all. Not like your girl here. Not at all. She's into the card reading and that sort of thing, but the paranormal stuff, and that got to her. And we were trying to really come down and calm down from the whole escapade at the planetarium on the 3rd floor. Wow. So by this time, she's as white as a sheet. She's pale, pale. And I said, I think we need to go. And you know, usually I'm the one seeing this stuff, and I didn't see any of that. But as we were leaving, something told me to turn around, and I didn't do it. And I wish I did, but I just could not handle anymore because, well, I was on a time crunch. I wanted to go get my son. And my mindset was, is someone in this house playing a game that is not paranormal? Now, this just gave me the creeps. Now, we're going to get to the rest of the story. Give me just a second, and I'll be right back. Hello again, and thanks for waiting. All right, so by this time, she's on the porch locking those doors, and I'm down in the yard. And I said, oh, Lord, I'm out here. Take me back. I left my car at her office, and on the way back, we just couldn't hardly speak. And she was just unnerved. She called her gentleman friend and said, you will not believe this story. I cannot believe this. And she looked at me and she said, Zelda, I've got some things that I want to tell you, but I can't tell you today. Come down to my office tomorrow and I'll tell you. You can imagine that my mind was just racing, thinking, holy moly, what on earth could this have been? Wait, just wait. So that night, I just kind of, let it be. It went off into space. Didn't think much about it. And the next morning, she called me and she said, hey, you want to grab some breakfast? And I'm like, yeah, let's go get something. And so I met her at a restaurant, and she began to tell me the story of this house. This house was built before the turn of the last century. Now, in this particular area in Tennessee, if anything is built before 1900, they didn't record it. And anything that had been recorded was lost in some type of courthouse fire or something that they had, and all the records were lost. So anything before that, they just went in and went, oh, all right, we're just going to put them all to 1900. Okay, whatever works. So this house was built before 1900. There was a family that lived in there. And of course, it didn't look as grand as what it does now. I guess that's grand. But they had added on to it as years had gone by. But they lived in that back area that I was telling you about earlier, that was off the kitchen, that just felt narrow and low and just scary. Well, evidently there had been a fever that went through, and it took the lives of many people. Now, you know where I'm coming, don't you? It took the lives of a lot of people in this particular family. And outside the back, not 20 feet from the back door, is where the family is buried. The first person that went was a little girl. Now, this isn't the worst part. So in the 1990s, there were some, how do I want to say it nicely? spiritual gurus that moved into this house and rented it. They heard this story and they went out back and they literally, now this is the truth, they found where that little girl was. Not only did they find her, they took her out of where she was. I got to be careful. Took her out of where she was. Now you can imagine this poor child, over 100 years old, took her in the house, cleaned her up, dressed her up, and just would put her places in the house like she was a doll. Were these people out of their gourd? Yes, 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 Zelda, yes. Not only that, they decided that they wanted to move to Colorado. So instead of putting her back where she belonged, they took her with them. They took that child with them. They went all the way there. They were there for 3 months. And the owner of that house was freaking out. That said that there was so much going on that people would walk in, they would smell smoke, things would move, craziness was happening, blah, blah, blah. So he called them and said, hey, do you know of anything that's going on? And they said, oh yeah, by the way, we just happened to take a little guest with us. Well, the owner of the house called the authorities and made them come back. Now you can imagine the health laws and all kinds of different things, and they put her back. That little cemetery is still there. And believe it or not, in many houses and homes and homesteads in Tennessee, well, of course, you have a family plot, and they're still there. There was another house that I wanted to buy, and there was a wooded area that was not more than 50 feet from the house, was the whole entire family plot, and it's in a subdivision. And so they just built around this little area, this little subdivision. And you can imagine my son was young and said, if you move there, Mom, I'm not coming. I will find another family. I am not moving there. Sorry. Of course, I'm not going to do anything that, would upset him. You can see my cat whose eyes is glowing in the background there. So anyway, that is that story. Now, I don't know what happened to those people and all this other. From the last I heard, the family plot is still there and undisturbed. But this house has been up for sale from anywhere from $289,000 to $1.3 million. And I can tell you, as my grandfather would say, I wouldn't give a plug nickel for it. I would not go back. Why? Well, there's going to have to be some serious, serious cleaning in this house. And I don't mean like, everyday kitchen, bathroom stuff. This house has got a lot of activity. It is no longer on the market. They tried overnight renting it, like I said before in our story, and no one would stay. They couldn't even stay the night. They were seeing, and this is what my friend is just telling me all. I'm like, holy mackerel, why didn't you tell me this? And she said, well, her fireman friend is the one who told. Now, and it's not hearsay. These are documented things. And basically said, it might be why some of this stuff is happening. So I don't know. I would not live in a house. I mean, I'm living here with enough activity. I would not live in a home with that much activity. I mean, I just couldn't do it. But that this is true. Real House, I was there. The story of the pink haunted mansion. And I can tell you, I won't I won't go back. I don't care. I won't go back. I don't the whole thing, and I've been around a lot of homes that are active, okay? I've been around a lot of that sort of thing. I think what bothers me most about that is the knowledge of what these dopey people did. That bothers me more, I think, than anything. And I mean, who does that sort of thing, right? Who does that? Anyway, that's the story. I don't know if any of you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer them at the best I can. But this house, aside from all that activity, is pretty cool old house. I think there probably was some structural things that are going on with it. I mean, you can imagine adding on, and some of these, just like this picture I'm going to show you again. I'll be right back. Who wants to duck when you go up the stairway? Imagine coming down and wanting your morning coffee and boinking your head on there before you even get down the steps. Imagine living there and hearing that piano, steps, doors closing. Now, what if somebody's in there by themselves? That's what I was always concerned about. Because I thought, okay, let's just say, what if I did get that house and my son was old enough to stay by himself sometimes on little short spurts, wouldn't leave him alone for hours and hours, maybe something just to run down to the convenience store. But what if something happened and he got closed in while I was gone? Nay, not gonna do it. And I know that you watching would not blame me either. So that is the story of the haunted pink mansion, as disturbing as it is and can be. So there we go, my darlings. Now, I want to thank all of you for watching, and let's read cards. Who wants to read cards? And I've got a kitty that just came across my lap. I don't know if you saw her or not. Okay, so let's read cards. Let's pull out a card or two. See how things are going. I know what this card, there's some cards that flipped over, and there's a card that flipped over as I was shuffling, and look at what we've got. Look at this, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to say this. We are almost close to, well, yeah, I can say we are getting into the second half of this year. I believe it's going to be much better for many of us, financially, health-wise, absolutely. So this is for all of you. Good things, blessings coming your way, good things happening. So there we go. Hi, Becky. Of course you may have a card. Let's see what's going on for Miss Becky today. I hope you're doing okay, Becky. Hi, Pamela. You're next, my darling. Okay. Let's get Becky a card. But first, if you don't mind, I want to get that background off. Thank you, Becky, darling. Oh, Aquino. Thank you so much. Carol Ann, I'm sorry. Watching from Japan. Thank you and welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me put my background up there, my darlings. Just give me a second. Will you do that? Thank you so much. I want to just take that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so here we are. All right, so Now I'm cutting the cards on Becky's behalf. Becky, what have you got? You're going to see it before I do. Ooh, the Sun card, the best card considered in the tarot deck. Look, through wisdom, understanding, maybe putting up with a few things that you really shouldn't put up with, you've made it through. Look at that little sweetheart riding on the horsey, those sunflowers, all wisdom, all understanding, all growth. This is you. You're making some right decisions and you're going in the right direction. That's hallelujah news, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you. All right. Pamela, my dear, beautiful, smiled lady. There you go. All righty. We're going to read for about 20 minutes. Okay. I'm going to get as many of you as I can. So here we are. I hope you enjoyed the story tonight. I can tell you this. I have enough stories that I can tell you. I probably could tell you a story every day in October for the 31 days of October Stories with Zelda. And I've got more than that. All right, so I'm going to cut the cards on your behalf, my dear Pamela. Here we are. This is a great card for you, honey. It is about time. That's what I'm going to say. You're about to reap the harvest. You're about to be ready to slow down. You're going to be putting things together, and I think some things together are coming for you financially. This is the Nine of Pentacles. It's telling you to stop, smell the roses, play with the birds, make sure that you're just taking care of yourself and all those good things. And this is an excellent card for you because it's telling you the next step to come is just like you're just can take a breath and finish. But financially, things are going to be looking up for you, my dear Pamela. So there you go. Thank you, Becky. You're a darling. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. So now let me go to this. Georgia. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Georgia, let's see what's going on with you, my darling. Let's see what's going on. I'm shuffling the cards. I wish y'all could see. Shuffling, shuffling. Here we are. Ready? Oh, Georgia, this isn't as bad as what it looks. This is the Tower. And I think really what this looks like, Georgia, is that finally something is coming to fruition and you can take the next step. You can actually go now. You put things behind you. It's sometimes we have to go through a bad thing in order to get to the good. And I think that's what you've been doing, Georgia. So I think don't worry about that. Things are turning around. Don't you worry, my darling. Everything is good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank you all for, I'm seeing from, I'm on 3 different channels now, and I'm seeing that I'm getting some stars. Thank you. Thank you. That helps me to continue to bring things for you. All right. So let's see who is next. And Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Let's get a card, Mike, and see what's going on for you. Let's see. All right, here we are. Cutting the cards. Sorry, nose itchy. All right, cutting the cards. Mike, this is for you. Looks like something is going to be, a situation is coming about where you're going to have another decision. And I think you've had some decisions to make, but there's maybe one more. And I would wait before you get all the facts, make sure everything is going ahead, make sure everything is good, and then take a breath. And then when you have all the decisions in front of you, all the resolutions, all the decisions, then you can say, okay, I'm going to make that one. But right now, don't turn down anything. Make sure you have all of the facts first, everything in line first, and then you can make your decision. I hope that helps. Okay, thank you so much. All right, Teresa, you may have a card about your love life. Pardon me. Okay, let me see here. I've got a couple. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I just think I saw lightning outside. We had some pretty nasty storms over the last few days, and praying for all of those north of me, and even in my hometown in Ohio got hit. Oh, it was pretty nasty. Okay, so Miss Teresa, my darling, here we are. Here we are, cutting the cards. And here you go. Oh my goodness. Ace of Cups, you can't get a better card, in my opinion, for your love life than this. It is a fresh start. You see, creating memories, your cup runneth over, all good things, love, emotions, that benevolent hand coming out of the cosmic unknown, heaven, whatever you want to say, is coming to help you. And if you're not in a relationship, this is kind of that gentle nudge to get you to meet your perfect person for you. So this is an excellent card for you, my Teresa. If you are in a relationship, you're about to go to the next step. Fresh start. All good. Thank you so much, my darling. Okay, and I want to thank you. Here we go. Rebecca, hello, and wow, what a great story. Well, thank you so much. Yes, may I have a card? Thank you, and you are quite welcome. Rebecca, here we are. Here we are. Now, let me see what else is going on here, because I don't want to do any, I don't want to have to do any housekeeping. You know how I have to do that? But if I tell the stories, they don't sometimes come in. All right, so here we are. My Rebecca. My Rebecca. Here we go. And I want you to know something. Just give me a second. See that little light right here? I have no clue what that is, because when I turn around and look, there is no light. So it's got to be something reflecting on something. Okay, so here we are, darlings. Cutting the cards on your behalf. My Rebecca, here you are. Well, my dear, the 10 of Wands. I don't know if you've gotten this before. Seems very familiar for you. But the 10 of Wands is what happens. It's a fire element when you're getting ready now to move to the next step. It's like you're taking all your lessons from the journey, and now you're ready and you're prepared to move on. That's what's going on for you, Rebecca. There's a lot of growth and opportunity here for you, and there's more to come. So buckle your seatbelt, my darling. But it's all good. You're going to make it through. And this is a good card that basically says, hey, you made it. Good job. That's what that means. So thank you so much. Okay, and you're welcome, Pamela. Okay, and let me just see here. You're welcome. You're welcome. Everyone is so welcome. Okay, Tracy, you are up next. Here we go, Tracy. Here we go. All right. I would really appreciate a card. Well, you're very welcome, and here we go. Here we are. I just cut the cards for you. Tracy, here you go. Oh, look at what you got. This Wheel of Fortune. So it's about, I'm just going to say, sometimes it's that it's about time card where you've been waiting. Things have come full circle. And now the blessings should be chasing you down. And that doesn't mean that you can just stop and go, okay, now here we go. What it means is it's just literally time where you can just say, okay, I've done all I can do. Now things are going to be coming full circle. And now the blessings are about to begin. That's an excellent card for you, my dear Tracy. Excellent. So keep us posted on how things are going, will you? All right. And next we have the lovely Samantha. Let me see. Where are you? Okay. Lovely Samantha. I would really love a card. Well, I would really love to give you one. So here it is. Here you are. Here you are. And you're all very welcome. Thank you for coming in here. I really appreciate you. Okay, so cutting the cards on your behalf, Samantha, and here you are. This is also the zodiac sign for Leo. This is the strength card. And you see, let me grab onto this gal. You see there's the infinite symbol there above her head. That means, my interpretation of this card is this. There is strength through wisdom. In order to tackle the big cat, you got to know how to do it. You just can't run in and do it. You got to know what to do, how to do it. And your strength comes from within. If you're not a Leo, Samantha, this energy of the strength is around you right now, because I think that you're about to embark on something maybe even new coming about for you. So very good. I love this card for you. And my dear, thank you so much. Okay. My dear Candy. My dear Candy, thank you. All right. So Candy, may I have a card? You certainly may, my dear. Okay, here we are. Oh, there is a card that popped out. And that card, oh, I love this. I love this. And how appropriate for you. This card is the Six of Wands. This card, now I got to point some things out. This card means growth, opportunity, but you can see some varying lengths. But you're riding on this beautiful horsey, right? Look, he's just all, you know that feeling when you're winning? That's exactly what this card is representing. That feeling where you're just like, yes, I've made it through. Yes, I've done that. This little wreath on here means that he is winning, and the same thing on his head. This is the card of winning. And for those, look around here, look here, are cheering you on, are behind you, supportive, 1000%. And you've got a lot more to look forward to. This you've started and you've actually made it through. Got a little ways to go. That's what this card means. However, you are really on your way. This is a fire element. So I don't know if you're a fire sign. I kind of forget, but if you're not, it's okay, because the fire elements, I love fire elements because they're the cards that basically they get the job done. Have you ever heard of, it's an expression now, I want to just light a fire under that guy to get him going. That's the fire element in these cards. And especially when you get the Knight of Wands. But this Six of Wands, that winning, you made it through. And that's what it's all about, making it through. Thank you, my dear Candy. Okay. There's Vanita. May I get a card, please, please? Of course, of course. Okay. And you are all so welcome. You are all so welcome. I felt a card turn over and it's dark. Oh, I thought I saw someone. Okay, here we are. This card fell over and I caught it. So there you go. It kind of was falling out of the deck. This is the Judgment card. Now, what does this card mean? You're welcome, darlings. What does this card mean? The Judgment card is not that you are being judged. It's the card that means you're waking up. You're seeing the situation for what it is. You're now ready to go to the, it's like, have you ever felt this way? Like you've thought about somebody, and all of a sudden it's like you wake up in the morning and it's like, boom, this bell goes off and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what's going on. That's this card. That's the Judgment card. It also can mean that you are using excellent judgment, good judgment in what you are doing. So very good for you, my dear. This is excellent. So very good. I love this card for you, my dear Vanita. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now you're all very welcome. Kylene. Okay. I would love a card, please, and thank you. Yes, and you are welcome. Here we go. And you are all very, very welcome. And I think that Kylene is the last. Good timing. Isn't this good timing, everyone? I wish we could get together more often. Here we are, shuffling for Miss Kylene. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Sometimes I don't, and forgive me if I don't, but okay. So here we are. Ready? Oh, this is a good one. This is, you see this right here? This is the 7 of Wands. Now, you know this last card that we pulled for Miss Candy, which is 6 of Cards and winning? The 7 of Wands means that now that you're winning, now that you're done, now that you're ready to go on to the next step, and you've already been through that, Kylene, but now you're to the next step, is you see the varying lengths of these wands of opportunity and growth and coming towards you. It means get some boundaries. Put up some boundaries. Don't worry about the conflict. You've been through the conflict. You're winning. It's time now to form those boundaries around you. If something is bothering you, okay, figure out how you can get rid of it. If someone is bothering you, figure out what the problem is. And sometimes we have to say goodbye to friends. Sometimes we just can talk to them, well, the way we need to talk to them and explain, this just isn't working. Whatever the case may be, this card means it's time for you to start marking your territory. And I think that's a good thing. Why? Because I think, my dear Kylene, people take advantage of you. Sometimes they really do. And you're good-hearted and you're a giver. And that's why you got this card. So thank you so much. Well, my darlings, it is that time. And thank you, thank you. Whew. Next week, we're going to have another story. We're going to read some more cards. I'm going to be right back here. I invite you all to come back. And if you're seeing this after the live broadcast, please put a number 2 in the comments. So I thank you so much for being here. I have a few little ads that I'm going to run. We're going to say goodnight. And I want to give you all a big blessing for this coming week. Thank you. Thank you. If it weren't for you, well, I just wouldn't be here, right? I mean, that's just it. I mean, so I've got to tell my story to someone. So thank you. Thank you. So here we go. So my darlings, give me just a second. And then we're going to say goodbye. I hope you liked tonight's story. And thank you. Thank you, my darlings. Thank you so much. Let me see here. Oh, let me, first of all, thank you, Kylene. Okay. And if you'd ever like to speak to me directly, you can certainly go over to psychicsecrets.com. We have a first-time caller special. You can call right in, and it's $1 a minute. We can get a lot accomplished in 15, 30 minutes, so we can figure things out. So please come on over and see me. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to say goodnight. You all be well, be safe. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Until next time, thanks so much for listening. I just love this, don't you?